Okay, so here we go. I'm going to keep going. We've got 7-118 to do next. And this is going to keep building off of what we already did with these inequalities and graphing them. So should keep building off that. So we've got some wildflowers. A botanist, which is someone that studies plants, right, claimed the number of acres of bluebonnet wildflowers in the county could be estimated by this inequality. So let's start writing what our inequality is first. Okay, and the W represents the number of acres of the wildflowers. So if we read this, it's the number of acres of wildflowers minus 30 is greater than or equal to, remember there's that little line underneath, so it means greater than or equal to 110, okay? So A's got some estimates of what some of the people around the area think it could be, and we want to test these to find out which could possibly work. So this is where we use what's called substitution. We've talked about this before to plug some of these values in. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different values. Okay, so the first one is 125 hundredths. So we're just going to replace that. Okay, we're going to say 125 hundredths instead of the W. Minus 30 is greater than or equal to 110. Now, of course, I would rewrite this like this. And remember, this is important. You got to line your decimals up. You can fill them in with zeros. This one comes down. 0, 11, and 0. Okay, so our solution for this one is 80 and... Now this is where it gets tricky, okay? So you have to take this, and if this was my answer, boom, boom, you have to ask yourself by bringing this sign down here, does this make sense? Read it. Is 80 and 25 hundredths greater than 110? No. Is 80 and 25 hundredths equal to 110? No. So it's not greater than or it's not equal to. So this resident was wrong. This answer cannot make sense. It doesn't work. You got to keep testing the rest now. So let's plug in the next one. So our next one was 126. So we're going to plug in 126 minus 30. Is that greater than or equal to 110? So we'll solve that. 126 minus 30, 96. All right. Okay, so then you just ask yourself, fill it in, 96. Is 96 greater than 110? No. Is 96 equal to 110? No. So this answer cannot work either. That estimate was wrong. Okay, so we'll keep going. Okay, we got to test all of them. So next we're going to try 140. So we'll plug in for this time 140 minus 30 greater than or equal to 110. So again, we'll test that. Go 140 minus 30, and that gives us 110. So you say, is 110 greater than 110? No. Is it equal to 110? Yes. So this estimate works. Or, to be more accurate, the estimate of 140 works, right? That would work for this inequality. All right, so now we got to test two more. So this next person tries to get tricky by throwing in a decimal, so we're going to say 152 and 8/10 minus 30 is greater than or equal to 110. So we'll plug that in. 152 and 8/10 minus 30. All right, you have to make sure you line up your decimals. 5 minus 3 is 2. Okay, so there's our solution. So just ask yourself, is 122 and 8/10 greater than 110? Well, yes, it is. It's greater than, so that answer works. So this estimate for the number of acres of wildflowers would work. And then finally, we'll test our last one, and it's 163 and a half. So we'll just go 163 and a half minus 30. Is that greater than or equal to 110? So we'll just solve 163 and a half minus 30. And I think you can already see that the answer is yes. It's 133 and a half. Is that greater than 110 or equal to 110? Yes, it's greater than. So that means this estimate would work. Okay, so basically we're just plugging them in and we're seeing whether or not they make our inequality true. Okay, let's look at B. B asks us to write an inequality to show all the possible values. So this is just, again, us solving using our inverse operations. So we've got subtraction. So we're going to solve by using addition. So we'll take our 110, we'll add 30 to it, and that should give us 140. So remember, we just want to bring everything else down. So it's going to be W is greater than or equal to 140. So anything that's 140 or more would work for that inequality. So then it's just going to have us graph it. I'm actually going to do it right here on this same slide. Okay, so I'm going to make my little number line right here. Okay, and anything bigger or equal to 140. So that tells me that I should have 140 down here on my number line since I'm going to be increasing. So I'm going to go here, boom, anything greater than or equal to. And this is the part that just you have to keep in mind, is that since it's greater than or equal to, your dot is going to be filled